friends, thank you for coming to my video. Thank you for watching, and we are going to have a fun time together. Let's get crafting. In today's video, we're going to be doing some look for less projects. I have a few Pottery barn dupes in place for you. Let's go ahead and jump in with the first one. I will be recreating this Artisan handcrafted ceramic and bowl from the Pottery barn. To recreate this, I used one of these garden dishes from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to also go ahead and try to use two of these little bowls from the potty section. I figured I will double it up to make the plastic a little bit more sturdy. My mistake was trying to add hot glue to this such thin plastic, and I just figured it out the hard way. Once I put the hot glue in there and squeezed the other one on there, they melted together, but it also reshaped the plastic. So I had to switch it out and use one of these glass holders from the Dollar Tree, and I attached it to the middle using some gel super glue and also some hot glue. Once that hot glue went ahead and got set, I took some of this aged gray Rust-Oleum chalk paint and added some of my baking soda to it to create that feel or that look of cement. I made sure to mix it well, making sure also to have the proper consistency. I did want it to be grainy, but like a very fine grain. Just be sure to mix it really nicely before you add any more baking soda to make sure that you have the consistency that you're waiting for. So here I had my consistency, so I just went ahead and I just covered the entire bottom and the entire inside of this bowl, including the small attachment or the little base, if you will. The baking soda covered this so well that I only needed one coat. Then I came in with some of this elephant chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm going to just dry brush it in different areas. I'm trying to achieve the look that cement has. It is not just one set color. It usually has variations of gray and sometimes some browns in it. So I'm just doing that. I did it to the outside and the inside of this bowl. Then I came in with some of this mineral chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm going to go ahead and blend them in there as well. I'm doing all these coats of the elephant chalk paint and all the common other paints while the other paint is still wet. I'll just try to keep things random, just blending in different places, just trying to blend in any harsh brush strokes. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this was fun. I don't know. I love painting and love seeing things transform as the paint goes on there, and how, it amazes me what we can achieve when we just set on doing something. So I'm just, adding some other mineral, blending it in, making sure to keep things random. And the brush, I can't say that word today, guys, the brush strokes on different directions, so it doesn't just look like a piece I just slapped paint onto. So I just did that, just blending in that darker gray. I just want that to be like a little accent in the background, not so much as the centerpiece of the whole thing. So just keep blending your colors in as your paint is still wet. I use that color, then I'm coming in with this brown oxide from Apple Barrel. I just want to give it a little bit more warmth, and I just use that paint for that. Just adding, minimal amounts here and there, and then coming behind it with the mineral paint and just blending it in, so it just looks like just a little hint of brown or the sand that you will see sometimes when a piece has cement. And of course, everything that I did to the inside, I'm going to do to the outside, so everything is nice and matching and symmetrical. So I just did the same thing as I did before, blending these colors in, making sure that that red is not too harsh. It just looks like a hint in the background. And I just kept playing with the paints, guys, going back and forth until I achieved the look of the inspiration piece. My friends, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. This really helps my channel grow. And I truly thank you in advance for your support. To my regular viewers, guys, you guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much for your support and for always commenting and liking and all of the inspiration and encouragement you give me. I really appreciate each one of you. Once I was satisfied with that, I just paint the little bottom of the saucepan using the elephant chalk paint from Rust-Oleum. Here it is, all completed. Guys, let me know how you like it. I love this piece. It looks so much better in person than it does on camera, and then you can see it here. And this is theirs and mine. I did it for $2. Theirs was $100. My friends, today's video is part of a collaboration I am so excited about. It's called the Look for Less 2.0. And this is hosted by Zulia from Zulia G and by C from CJ DIY. And our special guest host is Miguelito from Miguelitos DIY. The link to their channels will be in the description box below, along with the playlist. The second inspiration piece is this Pottery Barn Artisan handcrafted terracotta vase for $139. To recreate this piece, I'm going to use one of these vases from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and use some of this caulking from the Dollar Tree as well. And the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and add some stripes to this base, making sure to do everything as straight as possible. I didn't have the steadiest hand here, guys, but take your time and this will come out so amazing. Just took your time. Just make sure that you have even sections so you're able to meet your ends accordingly and have the space between the lines be the same. Here I didn't have that happen, so I removed the caulking and I redid the last part, and now you see there how everything is now matching. There were some sections that were a little bit messy, so I just added some heat and tried to reshape the sections there of the caulking to make it thinner and not so spread out. First I started with 3 lines, leaving some generous space in between just to make this as even as possible, and then I went over it and added lines in between those lines in order to recreate the lines that the inspiration piece had. Then I created more lines in the outer section. I just added one more in the bottom and one at the very end. And this is how it looks so far. I'll let it dry. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and prep a mixture for painting my jar or my vase. I just took some of this white Black & Decker paint and primer, and I'm going to go ahead and add some more baking soda to this. I'm going to add baking soda to this paint as well, just giving it a little bit of a grain, a little bit less than what I used for the previous DIY. I made sure to mix it well before using it. Then I went and I added 2 nice coats of paint in the outside of this, and I also painted about 1/3 down the inside of the vase to give it that real look of a ceramic vase. Once everything was nice, said and done, here it is, guys, nice and completed. I love this piece. I love it so much. I can't wait to put greenery inside of it, or maybe just leave it that way. I don't know what you guys think. Theirs was $139 and mine was only $1.50. Next, I'll be recreating this rope decorative spheres for $46 on the Pottery Barn website. For mine, I decided to only do 3. I used these balls from the Dollar Tree and this macrame cord from the Dollar Tree as well. I made sure to wind the end of the cord properly before taking a little tiny bit of hot glue to attach the first portion of the yarn or to the macrame cord onto my foam ball. Then I just began to wrap it onto the ball, having the cords be very close, trying to avoid having any gaps or any spaces in between in order for that green to not show between the macrame cord. I just kept using the hot glue in all the little sections here, not skipping any parts, because I really want this to stay secure and placed before anything unravels. Just be very careful as you're doing this. It is hot glue and foam tends to melt, so just try to do as little as possible and try to put some of the hot glue onto the macrame cord more than on the foam. You just do have a little bit on the foam as well because you want to keep this in place, but just don't put too much that it will create holes on your foam board. I just continued doing this until the ball was completely wrapped, and once I got to the end, I just added some hot glue there and then just kept wrapping it into small little sections. Try to keep it symmetrical, but just be very careful to avoid any gaps as you're doing this. You want a nice clean finish here. I just added a tiny little hot glue at the end too. Wrap it very, very small. Tuck the macrame cord onto that little hole very carefully, and I just cut the yarn or the macrame cord in an angle and then stuck that little corner into the same hole to give this a nice finished look. I did it 3 times and this is how they ended up. Let me know how you like them. I love them, guys, and to me it looks exactly the same. I just did one less. Theirs was $46 and mine was only $4. For the 4th and final dupe, I'm going to be recreating these Pottery Barn moss spheres. To recreate them, I'm going to use some of these cat toys from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use 3 of them. I removed the tags and I removed the little jingle bells that came inside them as well. One was missing the little jingle bell because I used it for something else. Once I had that all set up, it was easy to take out. All you had to do is just take apart a little bit and then push them out. Then I'm taking some of this floral moss from Dollar Tree and I'm going to try to remove the dust from it. Instead of using the big pieces of moss, I want that fine pieces of moss for this project. So what I did was I just kept in the bag the dust that came with it, and then I'm removing the smaller pieces that I have on there, and I just going to mush them and try to make them as fine as possible. Once I did that, I'm going to go ahead and add some Mod Podge onto each one of these, and I'm going to just add some of that moss onto each one of these spheres. As I was adding the moss, I realized this was not the shade that I wanted. This came out pretty dark. The moss that came on the inspiration piece was lighter, so I took some of this green paint from Dollar Tree and I'm watering down into a spray bottle from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm adding it to my moss. For some reason, I thought I was going to be lightening my moss. I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I quickly realized that, yeah, no, this is not working the way I expect. So instead, I went with a different approach. I added some paint to my brush, and I'm brushing on the paint together with the moss, trying to create that moss effect. It does have a little bit of that little film of moss on top of it on the inspiration piece. So I am trying to achieve the same look. So I was just trying to brush it in. I didn't want it to be too clumpy because it was very light, but that quite didn't work out the same. So I just ended up adding Mod Podge to the whole moss mixture there and adding paint to it as well, and trying to get all 3 ingredients onto my sphere at the same time. I must confess that this was taking forever for me. It wasn't working. So I just, started doing it a bit different, adding paint to the actual sphere, trying to get those pieces of wood a bit lighter, using that. And then I'm just, in the 3rd one here, you see how I changed again my strategy. I was just learning as I was going and trying to find the best way to get this done. So I ended up doing that. Then I realized, you know what, let's just add the Mod Podge, everything in there, try to do everything in one step. So I did that and just adding the little bit of dust and the color and everything at the same time. I found that to be a lot easier. However, it wasn't enough. So I decided to take a different approach once more. So I took a little Ziploc bag and I added the paint, the moss, and Mod Podge to it, and I made it pretty thick. So what I'm going to do, in order to get into the nooks and crannies, I put my balls on there and I'm just shaking it away and making sure that that gets nicely saturated so I can achieve more of that green look. Because for some reason, the willows or the little boards, whatever you call this, whatever this is made out of, was not taking the stain as good when I was brushing it on. So I figure as a bead, this might work better, and I was right. I wish I would have done this from the beginning. So if you do recreate these, guys, this last way of doing it is the best way. It will save you so much time and effort. I made sure I did this with all 3. And if I was running out of paint, I was just rubbing it on there, trying to get as much in there as possible. And usually Dollar Tree paints are not the best, but for things like this, I do get it because they are a helper. And I just put this to dry on this side. Guys, this came out so cute. Look at them. They are so adorable. And for a fraction of the dollar again. This literally cost me $3 because I got these when they were $1 each. And theirs was $79. And here is the final review. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves. And remember, be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. Have a great day. Don't forget to visit the playlist and hear my social media links. And you have yourself a wonderful day. Bye.